In this episode of the Second Swing Thoughts podcast, we have a very special guest. Kevin Kraft is back talking about the clubs he's played this year, the changes he's made, and kind of some fascinating stuff that he has tweaked in his bag. Plus, shocking, we have another Scotty Scheffler victory to talk about today, in addition to one of our own Master Club Fitters at the U.S. Mid-Ams. That was a lot of fun to follow as well. That and a whole lot more in this episode of Second Swing Thoughts. Hey golfers, I'm Drew Maholder, Second Swing Golf, joined by Sean Bauer, co-host of the Second Swing Thoughts podcast. We're back for, the Ryder Cup gets closer and closer each week. I know for me, it's my favorite event in golf, and unfortunately it only takes place every 2 years. So we've got that and all the ramifications as far as the Pro-Core Championship this weekend. And then also we had Kevin on to talk about some golf equipment as well, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, really, really good show here. The Ryder Cup is the marquee golf event. I would put it up there. It's one of my favorite sporting events across all sports, obviously. I just think it's awesome. It's theater, it's intense, and it's teams, which, I think having it every 2 years and having it be U.S. versus Europe or something, it just makes it all the more special. Then Kevin Kraft on the show, a professional club tinkerer, self-described professional club tinkerer on, kind of talking about the changes he's made. And I have fairway woods and wedges. You'll want to listen to those because it is quite entertaining, but also very interesting. So really good stuff there, but we'll get into the turn to start things off here. And like you said, breaking news, Scotty Scheffler won another golf tournament. This one out at the Pro-Core Championship. Of course, an event that he probably doesn't play most years, but with a home Ryder Cup, Keegan Bradley kind of made it a point to get as many of the guys as he possibly could to play together, build some team camaraderie, stay sharp. And I think that's a lesson they learned, 2 years ago when they all took like a month off essentially between the Tour Championship and the Ryder Cup. So, he outlasted Ryder Cup teammate Ben Griffin. Ben, he came so close to making long putts on, 16 and 17 that would have changed it. And then 18, an unfortunate 3-putt for him to par, needing birdie. So he barely missed out, but a pretty strong showing for the U.S. Ryder Cup teammates. Those two won 2. J.J. Spawn finished 6th, Cam Young 9th, Sam Burns 14th, Russell Henley 19th, Patrick Cantley 30th. So pretty good showing there. 3 of the other guys, they all made the cut, but so if you put any stock into how guys are in form 2 weeks out, I think the U.S. would take those results.
Yeah, I think it's a good tune-up at the very least, right? You get some competitive golf in you a couple weeks ahead of time. And then especially for some of the guys that were in contention during the weekend, which obviously Scheffler is no stranger to pressure-packed golf. But even, for Ben Griffin, who really this is kind of the first year he's really been consistently in these big events, just one more week of that can't hurt him leading into what's going to be, the most kind of insane, intense golf he's going to have ever played in his life at Bethpage Black in a couple weeks. So, it's Scotty Scheffler wins. We could do these conversations about comparing to Tiger, or we could not. But the guy is slowly but surely creeping up those ranks. Where he's 1 win away from 20, which my understanding is 20 is the lifetime membership on the PGA Tour, and they still have that in place. So the guy has done all of this basically in 3 years now.
Yeah, 4 years ago at the Ryder Cup was he was a controversial captain's pick.
That's right.
Now you look back at that and you're like, well, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Really impressed from Sky. How about Jackson Koivun, the amateur? This guy's going to be an absolute stud.
Yeah, not the last you're going to hear of him.
No, he just an incredible player. His approach game is out of this world. He just came off of, winning the Walker Cup and comes right into here and is contending on a Sunday against the best player in the world and another top 10 player. Just really, really impressed with him.
Yeah.
But
he's a stud.
Yeah. And then speaking of Ryder Cup players, Colin Morikawa, not his best finish. He finished 43rd, but an equipment change, which it's been a year of change for Colin Morikawa between putters, caddies.
Continuity might do him good at this point.
So he switched into a center-shafted TaylorMade Spider Tour V. Now, the V model is a little more compact and it doesn't have the wings on it, and it kind of slopes from front to back. So Still all those same tailor-made properties you're looking for, but just a little sleeker, more compact thing. I think the center shaft part is interesting, and not going with the zero torque, going with like a ZT, but going with the Tour V.
Yeah, I think and he's clearly, like, I think we've mentioned it a couple times in leading up to the Ryder Cup selections and stuff, where putting, I mean, if he can make some putts at the Ryder Cup, he's going to be an absolute weapon for Team USA. But that is, of course, the wild card for him, because he hits fairways almost as good as anybody in the world, and he hits approach shots as good as anybody in the world. So it's a matter of making those putts and converting those chances, and this looks like maybe a last-ditch effort to try to find some confidence for that.
Yeah, and staying with the Ryder Cup team, we're going to go Team Europe there. They played, most of them played at the BMW Championship over in Europe there, and they're all back practicing at Bethpage. I was about to say Hazeltine, Bethpage this week. But they also had a team member win the tournament, but it wasn't an active member. It was vice captain Alex Noren winning in a playoff. They also had some pretty solid finishes. Tyrrell Hatton, Victor Hovland, Matthew Fitzpatrick all finished tied in for 5th. John Rahm 13th. You had Rory and Ludwig both with top 20 finishes. Bobby Mack and Højgaard, they both missed the cut, but overall pretty strong performance from those guys. And they're the defending champs, and all kind of coming in some good form, especially the last month or so.
Yeah, I think we're gearing up for a very, very good Ryder Cup. I think there's sort of a there's the momentum from the last Ryder Cup that Team Europe has. There's this home crowd that the U.S. is going to have. It's going to be fascinating. I think technically the U.S. is favored right now, and I think that's solely based on the home course advantage, because I really think Team Europe is finding something right now.
Yeah, definitely. And while you and I will be rooting for the United States, our second swing fitter Harrison Arnold, almost called him Harold Harrison Arnold. He may be rooting for Europe, but he's quite a player. He made it to the final stages of the U.S. Open qualifying, and then he qualified for the U.S. Mid-Am. If you're unfamiliar with the U.S. Mid-Am, it's 25 and up for players 25 years of age and up. And same format as the U.S. Amateur, where it's stroke play for the first 2 rounds, and the top 64 go into a match play bracket. Well, he made it to the round of 64, and he was in quite a battle, ultimately losing to Denver Haddocks in 19 holes. But pretty cool way that he got to even get it to a playoff there.
Yeah, to get the birdie on 18 to force the playoff. And I've had a number of chances to talk to Harrison throughout the summer. Guy plays golf, hits fairways. Again, I just talked about Morikawa hitting fairways and hitting greens. He's a similar style where he's not going to bomb it past everybody in this tournament. He hits it very far compared to the average player, but he's not bombing it past a lot of these mid-ends probably, but he's hitting fairways. He's hitting really good approach shots in degrees, setting himself up with birdies. And it's really cool to see that type of play. You can go, if you're in the Twin Cities area, you can go get fit with him, this week for something for your bag. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and actually he got fit for a new driver by TJ Halfin over at our Minneapolis store right before this, went into a GT4. And then if you want to take a look at his full What's in the Bag, it's up on our social channels and our YouTube channel. And he's got a TaylorMade Rocket Balls RBZ Stage 2 Tour or Pro, one of them. But
I think it was Tour.
But an old 3-wood there, and he gives you a great in-depth explanation of why he plays these clubs, why he went away from a combo set in a certain part of his bag, shafts he plays. So really good stuff there from Harrison. So really impressive performance. Congrats to Harrison. And
there will be some content with him as well throughout the next few months.
Content here, and then wrapping up the turn here. Just some quick news, nothing too major, but the Masters, there will be more ways to watch it in 2026 as they struck an agreement with Amazon. The 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern windows will now be streamed on Prime Video. Of course, ESPN continues with its 3 to 7 broadcast, and they still have, the Masters app and Masters.com where you can watch. But just more ways to watch the Masters. Can't go wrong there.
It's a little bit, I don't want to say confusing or anything. I mean, it's just like, sometimes with football, you complain about how many different sources there are to get an NFL game from with Netflix and whatever and YouTube TV But so at Augusta now you have CBS for the Prime weekend broadcast. You have ESPN. You have, of course, Masters.com and the streaming there. Now you got Amazon Prime. You got all kinds of sources. But I will never complain about more ways to watch that tournament at that golf course.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that wraps up the turn, and now it's time to get into our featured interview of the episode. We have the one and only Kevin Kraft joining us.
Yeah, we figured, there's no better way to talk to Kevin than having him run through the clubs he's playing and kind of the maybe weird, maybe over the top decisions that he makes with his equipment. And I think it, as Sean mentioned earlier, in particular, pay attention to what he says about his fairway woods and his wedges and all the changes he's made there. It's pretty amazing. So this is Kevin Kraft discussing the clubs in his bag right now. And we now welcome on the Second Swing Thoughts podcast. It is a very special guest. If you have watched our YouTube channel or you have seen the Second Swing Thoughts podcast on YouTube or you have listened to any of the episodes as well, you know who this is. This is Kevin Kraft, master club fitter out of our Columbia store. He is in actually his bay right now, which is just perfect if you're watching the video version. Kevin, first of all, how are things going? It is we're now into the basically into the second half of 2025. How are things going for you?
Busy.
Yeah.
Just staying very, very busy, which, is great when you're in the golf business.
Yeah, I think all of us are kind of surprised, even up here for this time of year, how busy it still is, given that, we could see snow here in about a month, at least in Minnesota. So we're still seeing people that need their golf equipment upgraded.
Absolutely. And we're still in the 70s and 80s here, so we're not going to see snow in a month here, I don't think.
Yeah, and again, I could be wrong, but I know that it has snowed up here in mid-October before, so maybe
for your sake, I hope you are wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong too, because I'd like to play as much golf as possible. So, I think, whenever we get together with you, Kevin, I think our favorite topic, my favorite topic to cover, is simply just the clubs that you play, that you are playing, and the switches that you may or may not have made into what is in the bag now. So before we get into this, let's go back to what you started the year with. I know we've covered this earlier in 2025. There was, I think, back earlier in the first couple months of the year, I think we had something. But let's just kind of go through what you started the year with. And then from there, we'll dive into the changes that you may have made.
Okay, I hope you've got that written down because I don't remember.
All right, well, let's go back to, you mentioned basically when your competition started. What did you have? And then what are the changes? And I guess what's in the bag now from there?
Okay, so I started out with the Cobra DS Adapt X driver with the Auto Flex shaft.
Yep.
Started with it, still in the bag.
Okay.
Very early in the season, I put in a Callaway Elite 3-wood, still in the bag. I started with a pair of Cobra hybrids, King Tech 2023s, 2 and a 4. 4 is still in the bag.
Okay.
I've been trying for quite a while now, actually, to get a 5-wood integrated into the bag, and I've had a terrible time trying to do that. The 2 hybrid just kept on beating it and beating it and beating anything that I threw in there. So finally, I just said, okay, well, I'm going to take a 16.5 degree Elite and crank it up to 18.5 degrees and see what happens. And by golly, it just clicked. And It's fantastic. So I finally got that second fairway wood in the bag, and I'm very, very happy to have done so. After that, I've been bouncing back and forth between King Tour irons and King CB-MB combos. I played CB-MB combos most of the last 2/3 of the year, but I'm back in the tours now. I have adjusted all my lofts. I've gone 2 degrees weak. I'm tired of being afraid to hit a ball over the green if I want to really go after one and just nuking it. I want more height, more spin. Which is why I switched to the Pro V1X this year anyway. And so I'm now playing a 34-degree 7-iron. So that's been good. I haven't seen a really appreciable loss in distance. Like if I've always hit 7-iron 170, and I want to continue hitting 7-iron 170. I just want to hit it higher with more spin 170. And I've been able to do that even going 2 degrees weak. So that's been cool. But it's been really good in that I can stand there. I got to have a 6-iron at 180 yards and see that it's sort of toward the back of the green, with a bunker long, and I don't want to be in the bunker. I can still go ahead and swing at it, which I've always, kind of been afraid to. I'm making some changes to things that needed to be changed a long time ago. So
yeah, it almost sounds like it's for your confidence out there too, being able to just go after a swing when you need to, instead of trying to kind of you're trying to guide a swing almost because you don't feel confident in your equipment.
Yeah, 100%. And it's we don't ever want to make a golf swing when we're going, well,
right,
maybe this is right. How are we going to make a positive swing there? So I just want to have everything set up so that I can stand there and just try to be as quiet in the 6 inches between my ears as possible.
Sure.
All right. So then in wedges, I have bounced around wedges. At the very beginning of the year, I had TaylorMade mill grind 4s in the bag. I put a set of Callaway Opus in the bag for about 2 weeks. I took those out. I got a set of Cobra wedges. Now, I haven't played Cobra wedges as often as I've played all the other Cobra stuff, but they got some new wedges this year. Really, really nice. Unfortunately, I was trying to tweak something a little bit, and I snapped the sand wedge. It's the MIM material does not like to be bent. I broke my 9-iron back in 2021, and I have now broken a sand wedge. So, So, unfortunately, those kind of sat down for a little while. Good buddy of mine stepped in with a set of Cleveland RTZs, and I played those pretty much the first 2/3 of the year. Then I got another Cobra sand wedge, and I've integrated those since then.
Wow. Okay. So you're really doing a lot of flip-flopping with the wedges, it sounds like.
I love all the wedges. I want to be able to play all the wedges, and I can only have 3 in my bag at any given time. So,
there's
and
no
I like
rule
matching.
that
I like
says
matching
you
sets,
can't,
though. Right, but I like matching sets. So if I replace one, I got to replace them all. So
that's fair. Okay. So then and then lastly, we got to talk about putter. I do want to preface this with I think, was it 2023 was the year you had like 10 different putters? I know last year was a little quieter for you in 2024 as far as putter changes, but how are we doing in 2025 so far?
All right, 2023, I switched putters 13 times. I was having some issues.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It happens. 2024 was much better. This year, I have used 2.
Okay. Progress.
Yes, for sure. No, sorry, 3. 3.
Still progress.
I've used 3. It's still good, right? I used one of the new Scotty Camerons for 2 tournament rounds, and then I wasn't putting bad with it. I didn't switch because I was putting poorly. I switched because I had no feel for how hard I really had to hit it. I am somebody who likes a soft, fast face. And the Cameron putters and the Bettinardi putters, as beautiful as they are, they're firm. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'll be okay. I'll get over it. No, I won't. So, so I'm in my Odyssey Tri-Hot 5K that I've been using for pretty much a long time now.
Yeah. I remember that being part of the bag as one of the rotation putters in 2023. And so it certainly has stuck around for you for a while.
Yeah, I just can't seem to find anything that I like better, period. I mean, I've believe me, I'm messing with everything.
I know you are.
That never changes, but I'm pretty well set with this putter. I'm very happy with it.
So I want to have a couple questions relating to the changes that you've referred to already. So I want to go first back to the fairway woods. So you said right away, and I remember, the couple of times that we've, been in person to film content, you have, raved about the Callaway Elite fairway woods, and now you say you got 2 in the bag, right? So,
yep.
And now, are they technically both 3 woods based on their standard loft? But then obviously you've changed the lofts with the adjustable hosel. But it sounds like you have a 15 degree that's probably down, and then like a 16.5 that's up.
I have a 15 degree that's at 14,
okay,
and a 16.5 that's at 18.5.
Okay, and I guess I don't know if there's numbers on those or not, but I think it goes to show in a way too that the adjustable hosels allow you to get a little bit, versatile with those woods, where you probably wouldn't say like, you probably wouldn't recommend to someone you need to have a 15 and a 16.5 degree club in your bag. But with the hosels, you can make those, those numbers change to where now you have a 4 degree gap in those.
Yeah, and what really doesn't make a whole lot of sense is that I couldn't get out of the 5-wood, the standard 5-wood, which is actually a 1/2 degree stronger than what I'm playing now. I couldn't get the distance out of it that I can get out of the 16.5 cranked up to 18.5.
What's the length that you're playing your 5-wood at right now?
1/2 inch under standard 5-wood.
Wow. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. So the
Yeah.
3-wood head, the 16.5 degree head adjusted up to 18.5 is giving you a little bit more distance than, the standard 18 degree head without a loft adjustment.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
It's golf. I mean, none of this makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's right. There's all kinds of things about golf that don't make sense. I saw a ruling that finished a mid-am tournament, the U.S. mid-am match. Do you see this ruling about the 20th hole?
No.
This is totally a tangent, but we're talking about odd golf things right now. The U.S. mid-am is going on right now. There was a match in the round of 64, I believe, that finished in 20 holes, and the player lost the 20th hole because their caddy accepted a ride on a cart to the tee box, and they were penalized for that. So, golf is odd and it's dumb, and that's another example. So, another question I had for you was on on your irons. So you said you've been kind of flipping Cobra King Tour and the CBMB. When you're making that switch, or is it a feel thing? Is it kind of a confidence thing? Why are you said you've been kind of flipping back and forth in a sense a little bit. What is the decision behind those to maybe swap them in and out for a given tournament or a given round?
I was angry when I left the New Hampshire Open. I had played absolutely terrible, and I decided to make my life more difficult by playing a combo of blades and CBs. Figured I'd kick myself in the tail a little bit and see if I couldn't get myself striking the ball a little bit better.
Interesting. That's actually
Punishment.
so that is, I mean, you say punishment, but I've actually heard that exact sentiment from Larry Bobka here too, where he has said if he has, maybe not with every player, right? But there are players where he will maybe suggest if you could find a set of blades and play with them, it can help you improve your ball striking because it kind of forces you to hit the ball good with that set of clubs. Is that in a way kind of what you were going for there?
That's pretty much what I was going for, yes.
Okay.
And then, so about, I guess, 6 weeks ago, I took the first lesson I've had in probably 15 years. And, boy, it was an absolute game changer. I mean, my ball striking went from down in the dumps to, holy cow, I could be a contender. I've been fighting a low heel iron strike for probably 15 months. And
Wow.
I've just been kind of dumb and just assuming that it was just, I don't play or practice very much, so, I'm just not striking it very well right now, when really what I should have done is go get a second set of eyes on it and see what's actually going on. So kudos to me for doing it, but boy, I should just run my head into a wall for waiting so long. My goodness. Look, everybody out there needs a second set of eyes. The best players in the world all have swing coaches. Everybody needs help in this game. And I was just too stupid to go get it for way too long.
Well, you did it. So, it's probably tough not to look back at those 15 months and wonder, what could have happened. But you did it. So, good things to come, right?
Let's hope so.
So, lastly, on your wedges, you mentioned that you switched to throughout 4 different wedge models in 2025. And again, when it comes to making the switch, again, with the Cobra set, it was you snapped the sand wedge trying to make an adjustment. When it comes to making a switch, how much of it is, how much the club looks like what you want it to look like, or is it a feel thing, or is it a performance and kind of the, green side control thing, or is there not really one thing you can really touch on in particular that you emphasize?
I mean, I'm very particular about aesthetics, but I like wedges. Like, I got my start in fitting with a company that focused on wedges. So I love wedges, period. So I just kind of want to play them all. So I try as many as I can and try to keep something in the bag as long as possible, because they're the hardest thing for me to integrate. Like, I need way more time to integrate a set of wedges than I do a set of irons. It's because there's all these touch shots, and how does it react when you open it this way? How does it react when you open it this way? And so it takes way more time than I actually have to be able to do that. So I really put myself behind the 8-ball when I do it, but I just love all the wedges.
So what now so you said you're now working on getting the Cobra set back into the mix. What is your kind of makeup there as far as lofts and grinds that you're working with?
So I'm currently playing the gap wedge in the tour set. So that one's at,
okay.
I've got it bent now to 49 degrees. My sand wedge is 53 and my lob wedge is 59.
Okay. Interesting.
And
Those are
it's
numbers that you
Cobra's-
don't typically see they're certainly not on the club stated
No.
as those,
No.
but yeah.
And it's all about covering certain yardages, really, is all it's about. And Cobra's got a new grind that they integrated in 2025 called the D or drop grind. Fantastic. It's a grind that I'm really super happy that they have. It's a little higher bounce with a lot of relief. So if you're a Vokey guy, it's like a D grind.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the grind part is another piece of this whole puzzle that I'm sure with your wedges, obviously more than anybody, but it can make a lot of difference depending on how you play your wedges. So
Absolutely.
all right. So the last question I have here, as far as your bag, the clubs that you're playing, is again, and this is being recorded in September of 2025. We have no idea what's coming as far as typically every year, right? Or early January, we see and hear about some new golf clubs that are hitting the market. But as of right now, we don't know anything. But is there anything you anticipate maybe looking at with your bag as it stands now? Is there a place where you might try to upgrade, or a place where you might want to see an improvement? Is there anything particular you're thinking like, okay, when January comes around and there's new stuff, I'm going to maybe look at this?
I mean, I'd like to see improvement across the bag if I could, because I did not have a very good year this year, and it's been frustrating. So I want everything to be different. I want everything to be better. But yeah, it's a little tough because we don't really know what exactly is coming down the pipeline. I'm excited about all of it because this particular era in the golf world is fantastic. Things are better than they've ever been. Drivers are better. Fairway woods are better. Hybrids, irons, wedges, everything's better than it's been in the past. So, even when technology is not changing massively year over year or generation over generation, everything's still getting better. And so anything that comes out is going to be exciting. And I know we as club fitters get really excited about the players stuff, but that makes up such a small segment of what we actually sell and what we actually do, that, waiting to see what's going to come down the line for the average golfer, the guy that needs a little bit of help, is going to be really exciting. I have had a little tiny bit of a look into the future in Mizuno. That looks very, very cool.
Okay.
And I've been told that I'm going to like what I'm going to see from Cobra's at least driver for next year.
Oh.
I haven't seen it yet, so but one of my buddies has. So we'll see what that's like.
All right, I'm already intrigued. And again, I'm just fascinated too, because I remember how you reacted to the Callaway Elite Fairway Woods this year, and how how you immediately put those in the bag. And so I know, of course, you as well as anybody, you're testing equipment immediately once you can get your hands on it, and so that part is always exciting when it comes to the new equipment. So, well, yeah, that's what we got today for you, Kevin. We had to look at your bag. We got to dive in. This is a little more tame than it has been in the past for you. You've been, you like to kind of mix things up, but it's just some wedges moving around a little bit. Not a whole lot's changing for you. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you.
I'm mellowing out in my old age. What can I say?
Fair enough. Well, Kevin, we appreciate you taking the time, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the year, both
you.
on the golf course and of course in the fitting bay as things change into 2026.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's the future's bright, I hope. So we'll keep waking up and see what we can do.
And that was Kevin Kraft going through his bag. I think he mentioned a couple times in there that he wasn't super pleased with how the year went. So I think I'm intrigued as well to see, if we'd talk to him in February or March of 2026 to see what all changes. Because I feel like knowing Kevin, there might be a good number of changes to the bag, but nonetheless, still fascinating to kind of hear his how his mind works about equipment.
Yeah. Now, Kevin and I are we are in polar opposite ends of the playing side. He is, an absolute stick, and I'm kind of your, middle 8 to 10 handicap. We're also on the polar opposite side when it comes to wedges. He's played 4 wedges this year.
Yeah.
I've played 2 sets of wedges since I was 16, and I'm 35 now. So if that tells you just, the difference is there. So that part just stood out to me, like 4 wedges in 1 year. Like I can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, but, to him, it sounds like he's also just a wedge nerd. So that's part of the reason he's playing so many. Like he just wants to get his hands on as many wedges and try them all out as he can.
Yeah,
but
he's a wedge hound.
He's a wedge hound, as he has told us before. Yeah, that's very true. So it's and of course we got more stuff planned with Kevin, and he's going to be part of our our content plans as well when we have new stuff to review when that comes in 2026. So, but as far as YouTube stuff, we're still rolling out comparisons that we filmed with him. A lot of these ironed ones, AI 150 versus P770. We did a T100 and T150 together versus I240. So that was a good one. We've got a couple more yet in the bank that we have edited that we're going to publish with him as well. And then we've got more of our Get Fit Like a Pro series coming up as well. We've got more Coy Parrish, and we've got a couple more guests lined up that'll be on the channel as well. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, can't wait to see that. On the podcast side, next week we have a special episode. It's going to be kind of a viewer-submitted Q&A. So any questions you have about fitting, about specific golf clubs, about second swing, or just golf in general, feel free to submit those questions. You can comment on this episode. We will also have some social media posts going out. And we're going to have Jake Montgomery joining us to answer any and all of your questions. So stay tuned for that. On the second swing side, just, keep your eye out. Ryder Cup's coming up. There may be a little contest on the way, as well as some second swing fall golf specials. So keep your eyes out for those.
Yeah, this is a really good time for golf. I appreciate fall golf. I appreciate the Ryder Cup. So make those last few tee times of the year. Enjoy the golf. And then, of course, subscribe to Second Swing Thoughts and the Second Swing YouTube channel. We appreciate it. We thank you for joining, watching, listening, wherever you are doing that from. And we will see you next week on the Second Swing Thoughts podcast.